The secret of the Holy Grail. Where could it be hidden? The rain fell softly on the cobblestone streets of a small village nestled in the Pyrenees, the air thick with the scent of wet earth and ancient secrets. His hands trembled slightly as he clutched a worn leather journal. The key, he hoped, to finding the Holy Grail. "You really believe it's here?" asked Clara, his research assistant, sitting by the window and gazing at the mist-covered hills beyond. Her skepticism was evident, but Thomas had grown used to it. "I don't just believe," he said, placing the journal on the table and flipping through its yellowed pages. "I know." Clara leaned forward, brushing a strand of hair from her face. The journal was filled with handwritten notes, sketches of chalices and cryptic symbols. "This belonged to Father Louis Devereaux," Thomas explained, his eyes gleaming. He was a priest who fled France during the chaos of the French Revolution, bringing with him something he described as the sacred vessel of Christ. He hid it, but no one has found it since. "What makes you think it's not just another legend?" Clara asked. "Because legends don't leave maps." He pointed to a faded sketch at the back of the journal, depicting a mountain range, a cave, and a symbol resembling a chalice. "If we follow this, we'll find the truth." The journey begins. The next morning, they set off at dawn, the rising sun casting golden light over the rugged terrain. The mountain trail was steep and treacherous, but Thomas was driven by more than academic curiosity. The Grail was more than a relic to him. It was a symbol of hope, faith, and the power of the divine. "We're close," he said, consulting the map. Clara, trailing behind, wiped sweat from her brow. "If this turns out to be another dead end, you owe me dinner." "Deal," Thomas replied, laughing. Hours later, they reached the entrance of a hidden cave, partially obscured by overgrown vines and moss-covered stones. The symbol of the chalice, carved into the rock above the entrance, confirmed that they had arrived. The air inside the cave was cool and damp, the walls glistening with moisture. Their flashlight beams danced across ancient carvings, crosses, symbols of the fish, and Latin inscriptions invoking protection and blessings. The deeper they ventured, the more Thomas felt the weight of history pressing against him. It read, "Sanctum Calicem Defendere, protect the holy chalice." This isn't just a hiding place, it's a sanctuary. The people who built this wanted to ensure the Grail would be safe from those who sought it for the wrong reasons. They continued until they reached a chamber at the heart of the cave. At its center stood a stone altar, covered in dust and cobwebs. Above it, a carved depiction of the Last Supper adorned the wall, the chalice in Jesus' hands glowing faintly in the beam of Thomas's flashlight. "It has to be here," he murmured, gently brushing away the debris from the altar. Discovery and doubt. Beneath the altar, Thomas found a hidden compartment. With trembling hands, he pried it open, revealing a wooden chest bound with iron. The wood creaked as he lifted the lid, revealing a chalice made of silver, its surface adorned with intricate engravings of vines and crosses. "Is this it?" Clara asked, her voice barely a whisper. Thomas held the chalice reverently, examining its delicate craftsmanship. "It matches every description in the historical records. This could be the Holy Grail." Clara took a step back, her brow furrowed. Thomas didn't answer immediately. He felt the weight of the chalice in his hands, the centuries of hope and legend attached to it. Could this truly be the cup that caught the blood of Christ? Or was it simply an artifact misinterpreted by time? The temptation of truth. As they emerged from the cave, the late afternoon sun bathed the landscape in golden light. Thomas carried the chalice carefully, as if it were made of glass. "What do we do now?" Clara asked. Thomas sighed, knowing the implications of their discovery. If the world learned of the Grail's location, it could spark a frenzy. Pilgrimages, academic disputes, and even conflict among those who believed the relic held supernatural power. "We keep it hidden," Thomas said finally, "just like Father Devereaux intended. The world isn't ready for this." Clara nodded, though her eyes betrayed lingering doubt. "And what if we're wrong? What if hiding it means the truth is lost forever?" Thomas smiled faintly. "The truth has a way of finding those who seek it with pure hearts. For now, we protect it." The legacy continues. Months later, back in his study, Thomas placed the chalice in a secure vault hidden behind a bookshelf. He had cataloged every detail, taken countless photos, and written his findings in a private journal. But he knew that some mysteries were meant to remain unsolved, at least for a little while longer. As he closed the vault, he glanced at a framed photograph of himself and Clara standing at the entrance of the cave. The memory of their discovery still filled him with awe, but he also felt a profound sense of responsibility. One day, he thought, the world may be ready to learn the truth about the Holy Grail. Until then, its secret would rest with him. As he turned off the lights and left the room, the faint glow of the chalice reflected off the walls of the vault, as if it too were waiting patiently for its time to come.